Let me know if I'm back. I should be back. I'm not sure where you lost me. And I'm not sure what Lanny is disagreeing with. But what I was saying is, if you give up your happiness, you're going to be unhappy. It is going to affect the person you're with. Sorry, if you give up of yourself, then you're giving up what the other person valued. And you know, the problem is, most of the time these days, we jump in without knowing what the other person values. You know, let's face it. Let's be honest with ourselves. In the beginning of a relationship, we're not putting ourselves out there most of the time. We're putting what the other person wants to see out there because we feel this thing. Mija, you'll probably end up resenting the person you were with. And this is what I see talking to people. I see, A, they're miserable, they're unhappy. B, they do end up resenting the other person. And you do know, these two things lead to this. You're going to reach out of your little relationship and try to regain what you gave up over here through a third party that is not Hashem. I almost guarantee every time. A relationship shouldn't be based on mutual insecurities, and that's exactly right, Lanny. Absolutely right. But it happens more and more every day. And when you're not getting what you want, you start looking for it. And you'll start to want it from other places that you shouldn't be wanting it. Because you want to stay married to that person because you've been told, oh, love is this and love is that, and you need to be this, and you need to be subservient, and you need to serve this other person, and your goals don't matter. It's all about making them happy. You're going to want your happiness, and you're going to look for it. Way too often. Almost every single time, you're going to look for it someplace else. Now, do you think that is healthy to a marriage? Bringing in a third person to fill what you gave up for the person you love, who already feels that you're unhappy. And what happens when your partner knows you're unhappy or thinks you're unhappy? Insecurities come up. When insecurities come up, they think they did something. You didn't talk to them. You didn't tell them what your problem is. You're playing along and saying to yourself, oh, I'm doing this because I love the person. Meanwhile, your actions are saying something different because you're pulling over here to the little third party and they're getting less attention and you're moving your way over and they start to think it's them. So now what? Now you're giving less attention to your partner. They think something's wrong with them. They don't know you're unhappy because you won't talk to them and tell them you're unhappy. You won't express, hey, I have these goals. I want you to be involved in my goals. Do you think that is going to be healthy to a marriage or relationship? And Sarah hits it on the nose. Communication, honest communication. If you can't talk to the person that you wake up to every morning and go to sleep with every night about your deepest, darkest, you need help. You need to get something right. Okay? Third group or thing, either way, you're going to go where you want to. You're getting the attention that you're not getting and the feeling good thing that you're not getting from your relationship. And that's not the point. The point is to be able to talk to your partner and say, hey, listen, I'm unhappy, we got to work something out here, and what are we going to do so I'm happy in this relationship and you're happy in this relationship? Because I'm getting unhappy, you're noticing it, and you're getting unhappy, and that's never good. Don't think you're doing them a favor, because you're not. They're getting unhappy. Whether you say it or not, they're going to know you're unhappy. Your actions, your expressions, everything, they're going to pick up on it. And they're going to think it's them. And they're going to go out and look for a third party. You just destroyed everything you've been working for. The whole point. So that being said, keep that in mind. And I know I'm saying a lot, and I apologize. I'm going to get a little drink here. Be able to sit down with your partner and talk to them about absolutely everything. Keep your attentions with them. If you're not getting your attentions from them, you really need to think about some stuff. And you really need to consider things. Okay? This is the next step I hear in this whole thing. The next step in this whole process that I'm hearing, and this is from men and women, if I leave them, it'll kill them. They'll be miserable. They'll never find anybody else. Really? So you make somebody's life absolutely miserable because you want to keep them from being miserable. What is the problem with this picture? You make somebody completely unhappy because you're trying to make them happy when you're doing the exact reverse to keep them from being miserable? This makes no sense. They're going to live. They're going to get through it. They're not going to kill themselves. If it's a man, men are this way. We one up. We always look for, with the next person we pick, the majority of the time, is going to be a step up. The majority of men, not boys, okay? Men, the next one we pick is always a step up. We set the bar standard higher. And we go about things smarter. You're clogging up their nonsense. Lanny says, be yourself, be patient, wait until you find the right person, Miss Sarah. And that's absolutely right. Very true. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If you're with someone because you think you're making them happy and you're unhappy, no, you're not. You're messing up their life. You're screwing them up. You're keeping them away. You're probably keeping them away from the person they're supposed to be with. So keep that in mind. You're not doing anyone any favors by being miserable in a marriage. And I just, keep that in mind. Now, that being said, we're going to go back to the happy things. Okay, obviously Miss Sarah has had a beautiful marriage, and that's wonderful, and I praise that. Anybody who has a long-lasting marriage and understands that, that's a beautiful, amazing thing. They have the basics down. The Torah gives us the basics. This is your best case scenario, says the Torah. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, this is your best case scenario. Hannah says her 23rd anniversary is coming up. Awesome. Very excellent. See, there you go. And, that's amazing. And these are inspirational. And I recommend that if you have questions, you talk to these people and find out what they did to make this happen and their viewpoints. And yes, everything's a give and take, but you don't give yourself completely. You don't give up everything completely. If you get that thing and you go into it and you say, hey, my goals are this and your goals are this, how are we going to make this work? And you think about it, you use your heads and you intertwine them into one thing, and you look up to Hashem, and you keep your focus on Hashem. You can pull it off, and you'll find out what love is, because love comes later on. Love is what you work into. Okay? Both of you will be happy. Yeah, there's going to be rough times. Newsflash, you're not special. Everybody's going to have rough times. It's holding together through those rough times. It's not doing that, I'm going to look for attention over here thing. Stick together. It's not going to help. Hannah says her parents were married 62 years. Amazing. And her husband's for 60 odd years. That's awesome. Communication, compromise, and caring. The 3 C's of marriage. Yes, absolutely. You forgot the T. Together. And that's what it's about. And Hana says, willing to work things out and knowing how to argue, fight constructively. Very much so. And being able to sit down, calmly sit down. This is the other big thing. I don't understand where society has come up with this whole goofy idea that when you have a conversation or discussion with someone over something you're disagreeing with, that you've got to tear each other apart and down until you're a pile of blood. No. You can sit down and have a discussion calmly, and you'll get a whole lot further, because the first thing that happens to me when somebody's yelling at me is I don't hear a thing they say. I just hear them yelling, and I just want to get up and be like, I'm tired of this. So keep that in mind. You can calmly work these things out. Yes, you're going to lose your temper. I'm not saying you're not going to lose your temper, but you can argue constructively, and you can argue calmly. And you have something I've learned with my good friend Miss Sarah. You can agree to disagree on things. Just because you're married doesn't mean you have to agree on absolutely everything, but you have to be willing to agree to disagree on things. Okay? Be like, you know what? This is how I feel. This is how you feel. Okay, we're just going to have to go with the fact that that's how we feel. And Hana says, for a while we had weekly family meetings to help everyone work things out. I've done that in the past. And it doesn't mean you can't get angry and say so, but you have to know how to express it appropriately, and that is correct. Calling people names is never a good thing. You B, you A, you D. These things are not constructive. They tear the other person down. It's not good. If anybody needs help in this little area of how to talk constructively, argue constructively, please contact me, and I can help with that. Win or lose, mentalities always, yeah. What is Aikido, Mr. Alex? Thought. Win or lose, the goal is to bring everybody back into harmony. There you go. That's it, Mr. Alex. Exactly. So what's the point in throwing all that extra energy and insults and tearing the person down when the whole point is to bring you both closer together and work towards strength? Now, on the other end, now I'm going to throw something else in. That feeling you have, the feeling of love, is being drawn towards the other person, wanting to get closer to the other person. Closer, 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 closer. When you get so close and you're so intertwined, all of a sudden you don't have that feeling anymore. There's no place to go anymore. So what do? You have one heck of a fight. And you're this far apart again, and then you get that feeling again, closer and closer and closer and closer, and then boom, you fight, and you're back apart, and then you get that feeling again, blah, 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 blah. And it's a constant, repetitive thing. This is in our DNA, okay? You like that feeling of trying to get closer to the other person, and then when you can't get that anymore because you're so smashed up against them, you have a nice, real blown-out fight, and all of a sudden you get to have that feeling again of coming back together. The goal is to do this in one argument, okay? And not be calling people names or anything like, or taking the other person down or anything like that. You can have a constructive argument that gets out some of the anger and pushes you apart just enough that you get that happy little feeling again that we all crave. Hana says, take responsibility for your feelings as I get angry because I feel when you. Exactly. Exactly. And I try to actually avoid using the word you or I, and I try to use stories that don't involve either person. Then you're just leaving both people out. You have to keep in mind that you have to keep in mind the us of the situation. That's very correct, Miss Sarah. When I was in seminary, we used a book called Getting The Love You Want by Harlem Hendrix. It doesn't give you an easy out for there is no easy out for relationships. There's best case scenarios. There's what our DNA is designed to do. There's the programming Hashem has given us, and He gives us the instruction manual. The instruction manual to us is the Torah. Best case scenario. Alex says won't work. Celibate relationships don't make up sex. Don't do make-up sex. Stop getting angry with yourself, Alex, okay? You need to stop. You're a good guy, Alex. Stop arguing with yourself. Is there anything else anybody would like to add to this or insight they have into this? Any questions? There's no easy outs in anything. Nothing is supposed to be. If everything was easy, we wouldn't appreciate it. And I see it day in and day out. When something is given to somebody, they don't appreciate it. When something is easy for somebody to get, they don't appreciate it. And Hashem very much understands that, and He likes us to have a little difficulty, so we do appreciate what He gives us and all the gifts He does give us. And we should be thankful that He does that, because that alone in itself is a gift, and an amazing gift. If anybody has questions, comments, etc., etc., keep hanging out by the well with Ed. And perhaps your Bathsheba will come along. I don't want a Bathsheba. No. No. Because that was just a whole mess in and of itself. I'm not sure which one of the ladies I would actually model after. Hopefully she's significant unto herself. And I'm not too worried about it. When Hashem sends me someone, Hashem will, I got to deal with what I got to deal with now, and that's my health. That's priority. My health and getting my conversion done. Know the person you marry before you marry them. Not necessarily, Miss Hannah, just have the same goals. If you sit down and you say, these are our goals, we can work with that. You can do it just as well. Arranged marriages are very successful, much more successful than non-arranged marriages. Ed does know how to pick up the women, and you know what? Ed is still unmarried, isn't he? It just goes to show you. No. Ed's a player, and I don't want to be a player. I want to be a husband. I am a husband. I am no longer a player. I'm going to say that. I am no longer that. I am a husband. I will be a husband. I will make somebody a wonderful husband. I have no doubt about that. Now is not the time. That's all. And like I said, I'm not straight. You hear me say little things about it, and I'm just joking about it and putting it out there. So that's all it is. Hannah says her fiance came home on the 5th of July. We set a date for the 20th and moved to Virginia from Detroit by mid-August. There you go. Whirlwind romance. Yeah. Like I say, if you have those goals and you know how to approach them goals and you keep Hashem in mind, there's no reason it's going to work out better. Believe it or not, it's going to work out a lot better rather than running on hormones. I've had relationship run on hormones. Oh, I love this person without knowing anything about them. And then you end up living with them, and then suddenly you realize, oh, wait, there's more than just in between the bed sheets to this whole thing. You start to see their true personality. Let me tell you, some people, their personalities, when you meet them and they're trying to rope you in, it's a whole new realm. It was love at first night, but he was drinking, destroyed everything we had. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Hannah. That's a shame. And that's exactly it. You saw a side to him that wasn't particularly too fun. Miss Susie, I'm not sure what's going on, but if you need to discuss that, we'll take that up after the broadcast, and that's fine. Um, you can approach me. Questions, comments, what we have going on at OneShul. Obviously, Misha's doing his thing, which is really fantastic. For those of you who have missed it, I recommend you check out Insights into the Sages. The young man is mind-boggling with his knowledge. He is a yeshiva student and just knows his stuff inside and out. I am learning so much from this young man, and I recommend you check it out. We have Miss Hannah right afterwards with Torah study, which is always fantastic and branching out, and we're falling into our little groove with the whole Torah study thing and really feeling that and branching out into that. And thank you, Miss Hannah, and thank you for being everybody being patient with all the technical difficulties we were trying to get through. That was half the problem. That's very frustrating on our end when we do have technical difficulties, and now we can really feel what Miss Hannah is bringing to us, and we appreciate that. Midweek Mariv, you're having a rough week. Stop in for evening prayers with Miss Tracy, which is always fantastic. Rosh Chodesh with Miss Ketsera, Special K, who's just all back to perky after her vacation, and I made sure that I would tell her when she scheduled her programs next so she doesn't forget. And these are the wonderful programs we have coming to you. And Michael, Thing One, and everybody's starting to get OneShul names, by the way. Michael, Thing One, will be his name. He will be doing Havdalah followed by evening prayers. Misha is going to be ortho punk. He's sort of fallen into that. He signs in as ortho punk, and I loved it. So we're gonna bring him on like that. And so we have good stuff happening throughout the week. Keep check on the schedule. It's all posted on that or on Facebook. Obviously I'm throwing up things left and right on Facebook. And I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you enough for all of you being who you are and being with me. And I really love you all for that, and for us being a community and how we reach out to each other. And we keep the love going between us. With that being said, donate. You know the spiel. And my video was banned from YouTube, which many of my broadcasts are banned from YouTube, so I'm not too worried about it. That's the punk rocker in me. And we appreciate you all, and we love you all. And I'm going to end the broadcast. Shabbat Shalom. Laila Tov.